This conference will now be recorded.
Last night, a little shower. That's compliments of Mr. Robin Dolly in the back. Thank you, Robin. Take care of your constituents in the city limits. Send some north to me next time. But hey, we're always blessed to get some rain, even if it's sporadic. I want to welcome you to the Eggs and Issues for the Chamber of Commerce. We've got a great guy, not doctor, but Dean Hans Williams, going to do a good job. And I actually took his class about 25 years ago. I'm going to share my age. Yeah, I was only about 10 years old. I know I'm a prodigy, but great class. My age. That's right. Now I'm showing his age. Oh, he was just a grad student. Good times, forest ecology. He had a really cute grad student helping that I ended up becoming friends with later. So Emily, is that right? Emily, she was fantastic. But I would like to recognize Commissioner Dolly, as I mentioned, who brought the rain for us. Thank you, Commissioner, for being here. Our school board president, Pam Fitch, for NISD. Hi, Pam. And NAC ISD superintendent, Dr. Gabe Torrijos. How are you, Gabe? Good to see you. And our SFA University president, Dr. Scott Gordon. Hey, Scott. Hello. And this next lady has a dual role. Miss Nancy Wyndham is not only the president of the Texas Forest Country Partnership, she's also an SFA regent. Good morning. Great purple and white. Excellent. There you go. Okay, at this time, I'd like to give an invocation. So if you would please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you today with open hearts and open minds. Lord, we ask for your will and your leadership to be done through us. We ask that you be with the folks overseas in Afghanistan. We ask that you get everyone out safely. We ask also that you be with the people suffering from the COVID virus and people that have recovered but are still not 100%. We ask that you be with the families that support those people and just help us all get through this like I know we will. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, and then in a minute, we're going to have Angela Wiederhold with Point A Media come up, but I just want to tell you this is a great opportunity to get involved with the directory and the map. You can present your business, promote your business, your organization, whatever it may be. I don't know the stats. She's a stat girl. She's going to tell you how many thousands of these go out, but it's a lot. If you turn to, I think, page 7 or 8, you'll see a great big old head of me in there. So worst case scenario, you get a big picture of yourself in the paper about that. With further ado, Angela Wiederhold.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We do work. I'm with Point A Media, and Morgan McCory is here also. And we have the honor of creating and publishing the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce Directory and the official map. And these publications really do serve to share the joy, share the beauty of Nacogdoches with thousands of folks out there. They go all over the world. And a lot of that is through our chamber website, nacogdoches.org. So far this year, the chamber website has logged more than 86,000 unique visitors. We always see a huge increase in our web traffic over the summer. Folks are thinking about moving. They're trying to get moved in before school starts. They're looking for homes and businesses to buy. And then, of course, lots of folks are looking at Nacogdoches because of SFA. And they want to learn all they can. These parents want to learn all that they can about how great our town is and who to do business with, what doctor, what car dealership, what financial advisor. You know, they learn a lot about our community by looking through this directory, how to get their water connected, what school to choose. There's a lot of information about education in our directory. So, and Morgan has worked the SFA orientations with Kelly and, work that table. And every time parents come by, they want a map, they want a directory, they look through it. It's substantial, and they want to learn all that they can about our community. And we want to communicate to them the opportunity to do business with local businesses and to educate them about how great our community is and all that we have to offer, all the different businesses that are represented here, and encourage them to do business with our local businesses. We print 5,000 directories and 10,000 maps, and believe it or not, the map is one of the most requested publications that the Chamber has. I don't think we have but a few hundred left for this year, because that really is one of our most requested publications. And the other win-win on this project particularly is advertisers make this possible. This is a major fundraiser for the Chamber. So it's just kind of a win-win all the way around. The publications really helps us communicate how beautiful Nacogdoches is, how wonderful it is, and we also sell your local business and we make money for the Chamber. So thank you very much. Please stop organizing. Oh, and I forgot.
Oh.
We have this great promotion, and I did for today only. If you have never advertised in the Nacogdoches Chamber publications, if you'll see Morgan, we have a little basket. Go and put your business card in there. We will draw for a new advertiser a $400 credit towards their ad. We'll give them free color if they purchase an ad. So a great opportunity to save a lot of money, get a great ad in the publications. And so put your business card in there and come see us. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Augustine. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. And behalf on my colleagues, the staff of your Chamber of Commerce, that includes Barbara and Sharon, Sherry, and our wonderful President and CEO, Wayne Mitchell, we want to thank you for coming this morning. It's neat to think that by showing up for a great breakfast and a great presentation, you're helping your chamber in support of its mission to create an environment where business can succeed. So thank you for doing your part for your neighbor and fellow business leaders. We appreciate you. And trust me, we have more opportunities for you too. And before I get into the chamber events and activities, I want to also recognize our member of the month for August. It's the Principal Financial Group, and we actually have a representative, Mr. Paul Smith III is here today. If you don't know Paul, please go say hi to him. But he and his partner in crime, Wayne Ramsey, have great ways to, and they are committed to helping you succeed. Am I right, Paul? That's for businesses and individuals too, right? Great, awesome. Thank you for being our member of the month. We appreciate it. I will also mention that in September, our member of the month will be the Nacogdoches ISD. So they are a big partner in Nacogdoches. We appreciate helping spread their message as well. So more chamber events and activities and ways for you to learn more about Nacogdoches. We are continuing our Nacogdoches Chamber Stakeholder Conference call. Wayne Mitchell facilitates these calls. You know, he's kind of morphed this into a way to feature different things going on in the community, as well as welcome back leaders that have reports and updates to give us. So this is totally online through GoToMeeting. Our next one will be Tuesday, August 31st at 10 a.m. If you can't, log on and join us there. It will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel, as is today's Eggs and Issues. So you can catch that again if you want to watch the replay on the Chamber's YouTube. Our featured guest on Tuesday's conference call is going to be Mabel Cannings, and she's going to be talking about the Rise Empowerment Pop-Up Market. So very fascinating stuff going on in town, and she's going to fill us in on what she's working on. We also have several ribbon cuttings coming up in September. Ribbon cuttings are what they're labeled. I call them celebrations of good things in Nacogdoches. The first one will be on September 10th at 10 a.m. That's a Friday. It will be at Rapid Payday and Title Loans, a new chamber member. And that's located across from Northview Plaza on North Street. We also will be at Buchanan Wealth Management, and that will be Tuesday, September 14th at 11:30. You might recognize that Buchanan name. It is Wendy Buchanan's business. Same location though, so just look for the castle on University Drive and you'll be in the right spot. Let's see, September 16th, a Thursday at 1:15, we'll be at Barber King's again on North Street, and it's a new business and a new chamber member. They have a lot of exciting ideas and other things going on in that facility, so you might want to check that out. And then Monday, September 20th at 4:30, we're going to meet up at a new business, Coffee Center Mac, at 113 Mitchell Street, and celebrate with that crew there. So in September, we will be back at the Fredonia Hotel for a meeting, but it won't be for breakfast. It will be the 99th annual meeting and membership banquet presented by the Fredonia Hotel and Convention Center. It's going to be on September 28th, Tuesday evening, as we typically hold it. And we'll be doing those great things that our chamber does at our annual meeting. We'll be inducting our new board directors. And we're going to be honoring the award recipients. And I just want to remind you who those folks are. We'll be honoring and recognizing Citizen of the Year, Alton Fraley. That award is sponsored by Ticton Ford Lincoln. We'll also honor our Nonprofit of the Year, Love in the Name of Christ. That award is sponsored by Charles Poole Real Estate. And then our Gary Justice Business Excellence Award honorees. We'll be recognizing Nacogdoches Oral Company, our Small Business of the Year. Award sponsored by Commercial Bank of Texas. And our Medium Business of the Year, Manpower. Award sponsored by Regions Bank. And Large Business of the Year, Eaton Cooper Power Systems. Award sponsored by R&K Distributors. The Chamber will also be honoring County Judge Mike Perry posthumously with a Lifetime Achievement Award at that event. Betty Shin asked me to tell you, space is limited. Please get your reservation in now. We would appreciate it. And that came from Betty Shin. Okay, guys, October 8th, we're going to be at Piney Woods Country Club with a golf bash. And there's still some teams available, as well as sponsorships and volunteer opportunities. If you haven't been to a Blueberry Golf Bash, you need to. That's it. So talk to us and we'll get you plugged in. And we'd love to have you back if you've volunteered or sponsored or played before. So just let us know. And then I'm going to wrap up with an important announcement. The time of year has come to paint this town purple. And the Chamber supports that in many ways. And one of the ways is to hold a special day. This year will be September 15th, so go ahead and mark it down. September 15th, we're going to have the Paint the Town Purple Blitz. We'll actually be based at the Chamber with a kickoff breakfast. We'll have an SFA athletics coach there. We think it might be Coach Cargill, but we love all the coaches. And we'll be supporting several different entities, along with athletics that will have their posters, that they have their schedules on. I consider them works of art in themselves, the way they design the graphics. We'll have SFA driving jacks there. They're going to be promoting their Spirit Flag program. You'll notice that we have the form today. It is on your table. If we didn't get the message out, Dr. Gordon is in the room. I think he's kind of like Santa Claus. He knows when you're naughty or nice. He also knows if you don't have a purple flag outside of your business. So you might want to go ahead and grab one of those forms, fill it out now, and leave it at the registration table. He's watching. He's watching. He's like Santa. And also this year, we have SFA's Marketing and Communications Department working with us. So this is a time as a business leader, we want to make sure you are displaying as much purple, actually a little more than you're comfortable. I don't care. Just bleed purple, as we all want to do, and display it in your business. We have several different ways for that to happen. The Driving Jacks is an incredible organization that works on their own. I don't believe they get funding from the university. They have to raise their own money. And they provide safe rides to this community on the weekend nights, late into the nights, right, Paul? Late into the nights. And it's just, it's very easy to call them to get the ride and make sure everyone in our community is staying safe. So support that organization while you're showing the Purple Pride, and pick up one of those forms and fill it out. If you have questions about it, just let us know. And I'm going to leave you with that for our chamber announcements. Please know that you can always go to nacogdoches.org. We have a calendar there. You can put your events on there. How many people go to the calendar and look? I'm really going to step out on a limb here. Okay, I see hands, lots of hands going up. They check our calendar to see what's going on in this community. Check out what's going on. Check the calendar. Now, I'd like to move into our introduction to our special guest we have with us today, Dr. Hans Williams. Dr. Williams is an educated man. He holds forestry degrees from Purdue, Clemson, and Auburn universities. However, I think SFA just has a special place in his heart. He has been here, as I've heard from more than one person in this room, I think 30 years. You're right. Almost. He began his career at SFA in 1993 as an assistant professor of forestry. He may have even taught some people in this room. He currently serves as Dean of the Arthur Temple College of Forestry and Agriculture. Prior to SFA, he was employed as a forested wetlands ecologist with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Waterways Experiment Station, where he conducted research in bottomland hardwood restoration and provided Clean Water Act-related wetlands technical support of 4 districts. I'm glad he studied this stuff because I don't think I can even say it. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Hans Williams.
Thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate it. It's a real honor for me to talk about the College of Forestry and Agriculture. I can spend a lot of time. I think I have about 20 minutes. I can spend about 20 hours, maybe longer, talking about what we do in the College of Forestry and Agriculture. Kelly mentioned my degrees. All big land grant schools. Some have decent football programs. One has a little bit better basketball program, but they have nothing on us. I've been here a long time, and the College of Forestry and Agriculture SFA, through the support of the university and support of our stakeholders in the region, we have the resources and the ability and the faculty and the staff and the students to just really make our mark in the resources that we manage. And none of the land grants have anything on us, including that one about 2 hours to the west of us, right? So it's really a pleasure for me to talk about our college and what we do, because we do a lot of things and we do them very well. And just if everybody's asking about headcount, I know everybody's always asking about enrollment. Our enrollment in our college starting this fall is about the same as it was last year, which is, we're very proud of that. Our semester credit hour generation is actually up about 5%. So we're very proud of that too. So all of our programs in the college are doing well, especially forestry. Forestry is the headcount is up in forestry, and right now we have 126 freshmen and transfer students in our introductory forestry class. It's the largest that it's been since I have been here. So it is we're excited about that, because the jobs are there. I mean, the jobs are there. Eric knows this. He's working in the field. We're placing all of our students, near 100% placement. We need more. People like me, the kind of no hair and gray hair folks, we're retiring very quickly. So the end of the baby boomers is occurring, and they're leaving the industry and all the professions that we have in our college. And we're having very little difficulty in placing our students in internships and in career opportunities. So spread the word. We could use a lot more of them, can't we? I mean, it's really good time out there to pursue a career in natural resources. Try to see if I can get this to work. So why the College of Forestry and Agriculture? I think it's pretty clear. When you look at the ag commodities in Texas, I've highlighted several of them up there. Those are commodities that we have a direct impact on, and a direct impact on placing students into the workforce, as well as doing research in these areas and outreach and continuing education opportunities in these fields. Everybody knows cattle, is the, I should say big dog, but that probably doesn't sound right, right? The cattle is king in Texas, and we're the #1 cattle producer in the country. But look at what's second: broilers. Right? And chickens, and the broiler industry is gaining rapidly, I think, in Texas, and so that number is just ever going to increase, I believe. And when you think about that, especially here in Nacogdoches, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Nacogdoches is in the top 10 broiler producing counties in the country. So it's a big deal in this part of the world. And of course, something that people don't really think about too is the greenhouse and nursery industry. It is huge. right? And it also is increasing in commodity value in Texas, and actually exceeds forestry in terms of its overall commodity value. Forestry usually ranks around 7th to 9th in the state, kind of bounces back and forth depending on various things, but it's also an important commodity. We probably put students in the workforce in all of these commodities. However, those are the 4 I think we have the greatest impact. I know that may be hard to read. I apologize for that small print on, but just some numbers for the Texas forestry sector, because it's one thing that's often most in people's mind. We have in Texas over 60 million acres of forest land. Most people don't know that. Matter of fact, when people think of Texas, they think of John Wayne, not moment of silence, but I like John Wayne. But everybody thinks of John Wayne and westerns and sagebrush. But in Texas, we have over 60 million acres of classified forest land. Most of it is mesquite. But in East Texas, we have 12 million acres of highly productive commercial forest land. And it is a significant player, as I mentioned, in economic development in the region. Those 12 million acres, why are our forests so productive? Well, we have a perfect combination of very fertile soil and excellent rainfall distribution. So when you look at that, even though we get only about 48 inches of rain a year on average in this area, and you go east of us and they get 58 or greater inches, our rainfall on average comes about every 3 to 4 inches every month, which is just a perfect way to grow trees. And so we can do it very well. So forestry is a major manufacturer in over 12 counties, usually ranked 1st or 2nd in a lot of the counties in East Texas. Its total value in commodity value is $36.7 billion to the state, and it creates about 168,000 jobs. And believe it or not, we plant about 75 million trees a year in East Texas alone. So we do a very good job in regenerating, managing our forests in a sustainable way. I often get asked, especially in recent, why are the lumber prices so high and the stumpage prices for you landowners, forest landowners out there were so low, right? Or they didn't really change. Why did landowners not see that value? Well, it was kind of a perfect storm of supply chain issues. I just saw in a Bloomberg article this morning, there continues to be a global supply chain issue. It's true in the forestry sector too. Issues in getting the lumber from the mill to the retail outlets, issues at the mills, getting enough employees to produce that lumber. So high demand, issues with supply chain, and led to those rapidly increasing prices that you saw over the past year. Now, thankfully, I think if you're a lumber buyer, those prices are coming back down, and I think are pretty close to pre-COVID values. So, but why not the stumpage prices? Well, I mentioned we plant 75 million acres or 75 million trees in East Texas alone every year. We're very good at what we do. There's a lot of forest land out there, right? So there is a lot of that resource out there on the stump that is available. So that supply is actually very great, especially in the smaller diameters. So there's plenty of wood out there for the mills to get. Their problem was getting it, once they produced that lumber, getting it to the retail outlets and actually producing it once it was in the mill. So unfortunately, landowners didn't see those stumpage values go up very much when we saw such increasing amounts of lumber prices. So I think the next slide is the green industry. I mentioned that, and these are astonishing numbers when you get right down to it. This is an industry, the growing industry, the landscape industry, that people tend to forget about. And it's a big deal in East Texas too. We have a lot of wholesale growers in East Texas, so that are growing more and more container plants and things like this to prepare for or provide to the retail outlets. $23 billion in value, continuing to go up, and over 226,000 jobs in this sector. And it's just an amazing, amazing industry that we tend to not think about. And then, of course, the one that I just mentioned, poultry. I mean, again, a fast-growing commodity sector in Texas. Big issue here in Nacogdoches County with the integrators we have, like Pilgrim's Pride, and what they do, and they're great partners with us also at the farm. They over 38,000 jobs, and again, $38 billion in total economic impact to the state. And it is eggs and issues, so I had to put some numbers up there for eggs, right? I mean, it's not a big sector in Texas, but we do have egg laying farms in Texas. They employ about 3,400 people, and again, their total economic impact to the state is about $1.1 billion. So very important to us. So why do we do things so well in producing good society-ready professionals for the workforce? Well, it's because of the resources we have. First of all, SFA is located in the heart of the timber and water resources of the state. We couldn't be better situated in terms of providing our students transformational hands-on experiences. It just doesn't get any better than this. So in terms of our location. Also, we have very good resources on campus, as I've mentioned before. Second to none, really. The president's here, so always could be better. But really, we get outstanding university support and have good resources that we can use to help train our students and make them ready for careers in their chosen fields. We have almost an 800-acre farm north of campus. It is, in my opinion, should be it should just bleed purple everywhere. It is a really excellent facility. Could be better. We have some things out there that we can do, and it needs to be a showcase for SFA. 259 is one of the biggest transportation corridors in East Texas. Every time somebody drives by that farm, it should say SFA, because it is a really fine place. And we have, of course, cattle production out there, and we have swine production out there. I bet most people don't realize that we are Texas. We don't have a big swine industry in Texas, a little bit bigger out in West Texas, but we are the #1 producer of show pigs in the country. Believe it or not, I did not know that, but I learned that the other day. Really fine show about our swine facility on Agriculture Today that was aired about a month ago. So it's really Texas Agriculture Today. So it's if you go on YouTube and you can find it, it's really a very fine piece and really highlights what we do with swine out at the farm. We have a big poultry operation out there. As I mentioned, it reflects what we do here in Nacogdoches and in Texas, the poultry industry. We actually have 4 production houses out there. We were one of the first universities in the country to actually have a production facility for our students to work in. So that's a real showcase for us. Plus, we have a very active research poultry center out there too, where Dr. Bray is director and he's chair of agriculture and director of that poultry center. He works closely with integrators like Pilgrim's Pride to improve on poultry production. We also have a very good equine center out there. They're very good at managing horses, showing people how to ride horses. The business of Equine Science is an excellent facility, and also Dr. Stephanie Jones is doing a great job with that. And I mentioned the green industry. Everybody knows we are the garden capital of Texas. I think a big part of that is the SFA gardens, right? Over 100 acres of gardens on campus that are managed by the Piney Woods Native Plant Center, and also involving our horticulture students. Plus, Dr. Barnes is getting our students more involved in crop production and other areas of horticulture. So that's an area of growth for us. I think is in that horticulture area. We have good faculty in that and good resources to promote that field. Our environmental science program. I know there's a lot of discussion and debate about the infrastructure bill now being discussed in Congress. There's issues there, but in one aspect, from our standpoint, if it's passed and we start building roads and bridges, we're going to see an increase in employment for these students, because there's going to be a need for environmental assessment and permitting. So that's one area that we're pretty excited about. Again, very hands-on, both benchtop and field-related research and hands-on experience for our students. And I mentioned research, undergraduate research. All of our students are involved in undergraduate research in some way, working closely with faculty. And we really care a lot about the water, both in forestry and in environmental science. I mentioned we are in the water, really have the water resources for the state. And so water protection, water quantity, water quality are a big deal, and our students get a lot of it. Plus, our environmental science program is one of the few in the state where our students actually learn how to do air quality assessment. So they're very proficient in software called AirMod, and as a result, they are highly sought after by both regulatory and private sector because of their air quality knowledge. Our forestry, everybody, probably the most well-known program in our college. It has a national reputation for producing professionally sound, technically sound foresters. We're one of the largest programs in the country. We have over 300 students right now earning an undergraduate degree in forestry. We have, of course, a graduate program at the master's level, and we have the only PhD in forestry in the state. So, and that program has grown significantly over the last couple of years. We have really moved some of our resources into it in order to try to see it grow. I think we have over 16 students now in the PhD program, which is up from about 4 or 5 a couple of years ago. So we're pretty excited about that. And our forestry students, and hopefully you're seeing with these pictures a common theme: lots of hands-on learning. We're out in the field, we're out at the farm, we're in the lab. Our students are learning hands-on almost every day. And Ted knows that from going through the program every day and going out to the woods, right? Rain or shine. So, except for lightning. I was afraid of lightning, if you remember. So, if it lightning, we stayed in and did something else. So, but yeah, it was a good experience for us, and using high technology and doing the things we do to try to protect the resource and preserve the resource, enhance the resource, and get students into the workforce. And our Geospatial Science program, we just can't get enough students in it. If you look at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the job market in this field is just through the roof. We just don't have these students, both cultural and natural resources. There isn't anything done today really that doesn't require GIS or geospatial and analytics somewhere in there. So almost no decision made today doesn't involve GIS in some way. So it is really a hot field, and something that we promoted. We use UAVs quite a bit in this program. Throughout all of our programs, our students become proficient. We bought a bunch more drones. If you see them flying around, duck. It could be kind of, wear a hard hat. It could be kind of scary out there, but they are. But we bought a bunch more. We let our students check them out, let them practice with them, and get experience in UAVs. We're very excited about the aviation program coming to SFA. I know you've heard about that, and it's really excited. There's some natural synergies there with what we do and with our UAVs. And for example, many of our students were very interested in getting their commercial UAV license so they could fly drones for the company they work for a regulatory agency or so on. And so we would help them. We help our students prepare for that exam, and then we would have to take them up to LeTourneau University to take the exam. And we'd ban them up there, and they were very successful in that way. But we're going to work with the aviation program. I think that their UAV, we're going to work with them on UAVs, and hopefully our students then can work with the aviation program to get the license they need to fly drones commercially. So you think about the programs on campus, many synergies, many ways we can cooperate, and aviation is one that we're excited to have, and we can work with them too. Surveying, you want to talk about an aging field. I don't know if this has come up in discussion, but average age of a surveyor, I think, is greater than 65. Average age of a forester was greater than 60. So a lot of gray hair and no hair when you went to meetings, right? Surveying they're an industry that is, and a profession that are very nervous right now. They don't have a lot of students or a lot of people coming through programs. getting their license to survey. We're doing everything we can to promote it. We're hoping to work with Tyler Junior College. They have an excellent 2-year survey program up there, and try to develop some relationship with them and see if some of their students want to come down here and finish a 4-year degree with more geospatial science background. But it is a lot of our forestry students end up going into surveying because it's an excellent career, and of course our geospatial science students work with that too. So a lot of technology here. The software is expensive, the hardware is expensive. We have the latest and greatest, so our students, when they come out, are really prepared for the workforce. So I want to finish up by talking about one of our initiatives and something that we're very proud of, something that we're trying to promote. And we feel like this is a way that not only can we help our students and our faculty and staff and the college, of course, but the university too, because we're very good at what we do in managing forests, and we have that national reputation. So something we're trying to promote is the Lumberjack Legacy Forest Program. And this is an effort to try to bring forest land into the management through the SFA Real Estate Foundation to try to manage those forests in a sustainable way, in perpetuity, meet landowner objectives, and at the same time use the timber revenue, hunting lease revenue, and those kind of things to promote student and staff and faculty professional development, and to raise for scholarships, graduate assistantships, and things like that. And we think we've got a pretty good model going right now. So when you look at the benefits to SFA on this initiative, the legacy forests are definitely going to be our outdoor laboratory and research opportunities for our students, both undergraduate and graduate. They will provide a lot of hands-on experience right outside our back door. The revenue generated will help us with scholarships, as I've mentioned, help us with assistantship, support research, which ultimately then we hope will support the state of Texas and the region. And all of it will be managed by the faculty, staff, and students at SFA. The benefits to the donors are manyfold. Many landowners want to see their land stay in forests in perpetuity. So we provide them that opportunity. Instead of one of the biggest issues we have in forestry today is fragmentation and the loss of forest land as it's subdivided up. So this is one way where we can preserve forest land in the future, meet landowner objectives, ensure their land stays in forest for the long term, and well, really forever. There are tax advantages to this, and there's just many options, too many options to discuss here that landowners can engage in to work with us on donating their forest land to us. And the benefits to the well, pretty obvious. Reduced fragmentation, reduced, improved wildlife and water quality habitat. And so there's just a lot of benefits to the environment to keeping that forest in forest land. So we're pretty excited about this. We think this is something that we can do and do well. And just to show you, we have about 3,400 acres or so in the program right now. This is through a partnership with ST Microelectronics. They are a European company, and they have the carbon exchange and the carbon regulations. And so land over here in the United States is cheap. We have a fairly stable political situation, although it's hard to tell sometimes. And so they came over here and bought 3,400 acres of old field and pasture sites in East Texas and donated that land to us. Our responsibility to them is to manage the land primarily for carbon sequestration, to store carbon. We inventory that carbon for them and every year report to them the amount of carbon stored on the property. And as you can see, it's a significant amount. And that land, so we continue to do that for them. And the benefit to us is it's a working forest. To maximize carbon sequestration, you have to manage the forest, and every now and then you have to harvest trees. So we go in and we harvest those trees, we regenerate the site, and the timber revenue is used to support scholarships, assistantships, faculty and staff and student professional development. And we're hoping to get to a point when the forest is finally regulated to generate about $100,000 a year that can be contributed after, that's net, after land management costs, because there are land management costs. After that, to contribute to scholarships, assistantships. And we feel we're doing this for the college right now, we feel like we can go to the university. That if we can grow this forest, that this is something, because of our skill set, we can give back not only to the college, but to the university and increase those very important financial pools that help support students. So with that, I think I'll stop there. I'm almost on time. I could go longer, but I'd be glad to entertain any questions at this time.
Yeah, you touched on it a minute ago about the lumber prices. Could you say that again? Because I know you said the timber not going up, but what was it again? You said?
The lumber prices are going up. They went up because what happened really across the country with a lot of things, anything related to like construction hardware, you saw this going up everywhere because what happened was the mills were having difficulty staying open, right? They had issues with COVID like everybody else did. Workforce, work employee related problems and getting people to the mills and so on. Then there was transportation issues and getting that wood from the mill to the retail outlets, and that continues to go on today. And then there was increased demand, which is something that I probably should have mentioned more, was that people were staying home, so they were starting to do projects, right? As well as the housing market was fairly strong in the United States at that time, or in the past year, and so you had a lot of demand for that wood, and it really kind of it caught us by surprise a little bit in that when people started staying home because of COVID, well, they wanted to build that back deck, right? And this was going on all over the country, and so there was a high demand for that wood, but we couldn't get the wood to the retail outlets, and we couldn't get the wood, we couldn't mill the logs to make the wood to get to the retail outlets. Stumpage prices, on the other hand, we have a lot of trees out there, so there was not, you didn't see that trickle down, or those increased prices on stumpage trickle down to them because, well, there was a huge supply of trees. So the issue was not that the break was right there from from where the trees were sitting, standing on the land. The break was right there because the real issue was on the mill end and supply to the retail.
So the loggers had no trouble getting it in there. It was the bottleneck there at the mills.
Yeah, basically. Now, you bring up loggers, and this is something that we're going to talk. We're going to study a little bit more in East Texas. Logging and having loggers get wood to the mill is critical, right? If we're going to expand our manufacturing capacity in East Texas, hopefully bring a few more mills in, right? We're all excited about doing that. I know Royal Martco just announced they're open. They're going to create a whole new plant right next to their brand new plant in Oregon, which shows you a little bit about the demand issue and what they're seeing for the near future. So, but the issue is that mill needs about 200 truckloads a day of logs. Put a second mill there, that's another 200 truckloads, right? So 400 truckloads of logs having to go to those mills every day. So how's it going to get there? Well, we're not real sure. So SFA, in partnership with Texas Forestry Association and the new CARI initiative at SFA also, we're going to engage in a study where we're going to look at logging capacity and see where it stands today and what it might mean for the future. Because when somebody wants to come into East Texas and build a new mill, they can see all the trees. And it's not hard for them to get on the Texas Forest Service website and look at the forest inventory data. They can really see we've got a lot of wood out there. Their real question is, well, that's great, guys, but can you get that wood to my mill? Because that's very important. And so we need to get some better data on that. So we're excited about that. the Center for Applied Research and Rural Innovation, CARI, is something we're starting at SFA. We hope to really partner with that initiative because it's all about economic development and rural innovation there, and knowing what our logging capacity is. Yes.
Question. Thank you for mentioning the nursery and the gardens. I do think that's a really growing industry economically, but also I think for us, Nacogdoches reaches out to the tourism industry here as well.
Right.
Those gardens are just such a huge draw for our community, and of course SFA is known for its beautiful campus. So my question, I know that it's been a hard year,
right,
with COVID and all that. I'm hearing kind of on the street level mumblings that there's kind of substantial cutbacks in the garden program. Is that myth or fact, or can you kind of address what's going on there?
No, it's, I think what you're seeing, you know, we are dealing with some budget issues on campus. We're handling those issues. And I think there's a good plan in place to address those issues. But yes, I think in the short term, we are going to see some fairly significant cutback. But that's across all programs, right? It's not just the gardens. So yeah, the garden, the arboretum, the SFA arboretum and gardens have seen some substantial cutback. And what that's done, and I know there's been some initiative, and many of you have partnered with Dr. Creech in the gardens to try to raise some funding in order to help support his program out there, especially the environmental education program, which we all know is very important, right, to the development of our children and their understanding of our natural resources. So yes, no, there have been substantial cuts, and it's something that we're all facing. We're looking at some pretty good cuts for the next few years, I would imagine, but we're able to handle it, and I think Dr. Creech is going to be able to handle it. And we've been very transparent, and I think Dr. Gordon can attest to that. Very transparent, very good shared governance model. Everybody knows where we're at and where we're going and how we're going to fix the problem. So hopefully we'll get it back. But I think the gardens in particular, they need to, and Dr. Creech is aware of this, we've talked about it, the more development money he can raise to help, not just to help manage his resource, the better, right? Because I think that will help ensure him being able to provide the services he provides.
Thank you. Thank you for your transparency with that.
Thank
you. I'm reminded that graduation this last year, we had a young man at our CTE signing party.
Mm-hmm.
He's a local kid. His dad owns a business here. He went up to the front and he signed that he's committed to work for his dad. That's a generational follow-through. And then I see folks in the room, and I see in different events like Ted, folks that have been in the community that have gone to SFA and they've stuck here. Mm-hmm. And they continue to invest in themselves. I see a tremendous opportunity in the presentation that you gave. In partnering, I mentioned it to Dr. Scott, partnering with the school district. We've got a tremendous opportunity out there on our own.
Right.
But all we have are bunny rabbits. So we've got to look at partnering and seeing what we can do, because be a little innovative at the public school sector, not just in Nacogdoches, but also in the surrounding districts, because we're trying to get the enrollment up over at SFA. I've got to stop looking at kids that when we ask for college, they've got a great university right here.
Absolutely.
And we want them to select this university here. So I'm committed to partnering up with our superintendents around the side and see if we can put a CTE fair together, invite them to the fair to come out to some of our local businesses. We got a great business out there on the loop, and have everybody come out here and bring our high school kids, bus them here, and let them see the programs we have here in SFA, and also our businesses, so that when they decide they're going to go the career and technical route, they know that they can get it here or into the local businesses. So a stronger relationship with the school district, because we're always thinking about junior colleges and going out and recruit outside, but we also forget we have a pipeline that's in the community that if we don't reach out to them, let them know we've got this opportunity here, and then you go down the street. And I will tell you this, and I'm going to this is my statement. I was excited this year to see the number of kids when we were asking where they were going to college. A tremendous amount of them said SFA.
Right.
and not just in the athletic, but just in the school portion. So you'll see a tremendous partnership with the school district as far as being open to see what we can do to strengthen our programming so that we can help strengthen SFA.
Great to hear, and anything we can do, please give me a call. We'd love to increase that partnership. I think one of the things, we're going to talk about it next week in one of our recruiting meetings. We're not going to rest on our laurels. We're going to start recruiting again right off the bat next week. I feel like many of our, if you look at where our students coming from and the demographics, we do about more than 50% of our students do come from the DFW Houston area. Most of them are suburban. Most of them have never really had an outdoor experience. Their first outdoor experience is coming into our program and us putting them in the woods. So it's really unique. But I think we have decided as a faculty in our college that we're not spending enough time with the region, that we need to get more out into maybe with the ISDs in the 60-mile radius area as a start, and have a greater presence with them, and make them aware of our program, aware of our opportunities, aware of some of the partnerships that we can develop, and hopefully, like you said, get many of those students to come here to SFA, because I know Kelly mentioned it, and I've mentioned it. There's no better place, right? I've been to the big land grant schools. I even postdoced at LSU. So I've been to the big land grants. SFA has got is second to none, right? In terms of the resources they have, the learning and living environment, and we need to promote it more.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Dr. Williams. Appreciate that. And yeah, Gabe hit the nail on the head. I moved here because of forestry to come here, but a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl from Pittsburgh, Texas, kept me in Nacogdoches. So been here since '97 and love it. Hate driving to go see my sister in Katy because the traffic is a nightmare. Forestry was my key to get here. Before Barbara comes up, I would like to introduce our newest member, Mr. Tim Freeman with Amerigy Energy. Hi, Tim. How are you? Welcome aboard. I mentioned that as a new member, he's now eligible to be in this drawing. So let's talk about a cash drawing from Axley and Rhodey, $250, and Commercial Bank, $50.
No.
Well, I'm reading it right here. So. Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Come here, CBTX. We got a whole CBTX table back there.
I got $50 in CBTX.
Come on down. That's right. Okay, so if you put your business card in here, you will be in this drawing, and you can buy us all up. I see an SFA logo.
Marianne Bentley.
Marianne Bentley. All right. Okay, and Ashley and Rhodey. There she is. Now tell me what tell us about this one.
This is for $250. You have to be a member of the chamber. It has to be your business name and your name.
And you must be present.
You have to be present.
There you go. We haven't given this one away in a while, so let's do it today.
Who's it gonna be?
Digging deep.
Digging in there.
There you go. Now look, and we're watching her. She pulls out Joe Aguilar though.
That's what. That's what.
There we go.
A&A Lawn Care, Matt Augustine.
Oh, Kelly's husband, Matt. Hello. Hey, $250. Well, sorry, Matt. Hey, I want to thank everybody online for being on board. Thank you for coming to watch. Everyone else, thank you for being here. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And we are dismissed. Thank you.